For the latest information regarding the COVID-19 pandemic in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/coronavirus.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm Larry Little. My colleague Todd is here. In just a few moments, we're going to be answering some of your questions around testing, also providing an update on what you can expect when visiting a pop-up testing location here in Santa Clara County. But first, I want to let you know that we have removed our face coverings so everyone, including the American Sign Language interpreters, can clearly understand and communicate the information that we will be sharing this morning. Todd, thanks for being here.
As always, thank you.
I want to get right to it as far as the pop-up locations. There have been some changes at those pop-up locations, and we want to make it clear because I know a lot of times when information starts in Mountain View, it's one story, and when it makes it to Morgan Hill, it's a totally different story. So we want to say testing is still free. Testing is still free at our pop-up locations here in Santa Clara County. But let's talk about those changes.
Yeah, so I think the big change right now is that the county has started to allow people to self-report whether they have insurance or not. So it just allows us to kind of keep better metrics and record to see how many people are actually coming to our sites that may have other providers out there in the county, so that we can keep track of that, obviously. But yeah, I just want to reiterate what Larry had said as well, that we are still not charging people for their tests. We're not turning people away necessarily because they have insurance. So please continue to utilize those sites appropriately. Don't be turned off by the fact that you may be able to provide our staff the fact that you actually have insurance as well.
So one of the follow-up questions to that, am I going to be denied if I get tested at a county pop-up location and I have insurance?
No, not at all. People are not going to be denied based on the fact that they have insurance at this time. And it's just as simple as that. You will not be denied because you have insurance. The order is still in place to ensure that people have that test provided to them at no cost.
All right, it says, I must travel for business but need a test 72 hours prior to leaving. Is the county providing rapid testing? That's
a question we're getting a lot right now because as people are going back to school, people are traveling for business, there's additional regulations and requirements that are going into place at different states, different counties, different businesses, and so forth. At this time, the county is not providing a quick turnaround test within a 72-hour period. So we do encourage you to maybe contact your provider if you have them to see what kind of services they're providing the community at this time. There may be other labs and so forth out there that can provide a 72-hour turnaround. It's just at this time we do not have that capability. So if you're expecting 72 hours for your results, it's not happening for us right now.
Yeah, life is going to be so much better when we do get rapid testing.
Oh, yes.
This question coming into us this week, have there been any changes to who should get tested?
At this time, no. It's still consistent with who should be tested, and those individuals are the ones that are symptomatic, others that are within close contact of somebody who is symptomatic, as well as those who are considered frontline workers and that have high risk to being exposed to COVID-19, like our restaurant workers, like our pharmacy techs, like our public safety division, firemen, police officers, and so forth. So they should be getting tested, because they are in a very high risk field.
This question has been coming to us a lot over the past few weeks. How long do I need to quarantine if I am experiencing symptoms?
Thank you, because we're getting a lot of businesses contacting us, kind of really trying to determine what they should be doing if they have a positive case. So if you have tested positive or you're symptomatic, well, let's back up first. If you're symptomatic, you should not go to work. And you should quarantine for at least 10 days and ensure that you have at least 3 days without symptoms, meaning that, say I have a fever for 3 days. On my first day of exhibiting a fever, I stay home. Well, I have that fever for 4 more days, and finally on that 4th day, it breaks. So if I do not have a fever or any other symptoms after that day, that would constitute your 3 days of not having symptoms. So at the end of that initial 10 days, you would be eligible to go back to work. And as we're always encouraging people who are symptomatic, please get tested as well.
So what should a person do if they are in close contact with someone who has tested positive?
Absolutely, great question. So if you are considered a close contact, which is someone that has been within 6 feet for at least 15 minutes of a confirmed positive case, you should be quarantining at home for at least 14 days. And if you get a test and it still comes back negative, because we're encouraging people who are close contacts to get tested after 7 days from that exposure to the person, you should still quarantine for that 14-day period, even if that test comes back negative.
What should employers do if they have an employee who tested positive?
A lot. And we have more information on our business and workplaces website, but just to touch on a couple things, the actual order still strongly encourages and mandates that employers maximize the number of staff who work from home. Just because you can have staff going to the office and the workplace doesn't necessarily mean you should if your staff can work from home effectively. With that being said, if there is a positive case, they must notify the county within 4 hours of finding out that that person is positive. They should also notify those individuals at the job site who are considered close contacts that they were exposed, and they should go home and quarantine immediately. They should also close down those work areas that were where that individual was working and clean appropriately. We have those additional guidelines on our website, as well as making sure that they air out the room and so forth, and to make sure that they can get rid of as much COVID as they possibly can. Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are asking questions regarding how long will it take for me to get my test back? So I think it's best to check with your testing location regarding that.
Absolutely. Check with the individual site because everybody's a little bit different right now.
All right, Todd, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Facebook Live in Spanish is on Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. in Vietnamese, on Thursday at 10 a.m. And it is going to be very, very warm this week. Well, it's already warm. So we want you to stay cool and check on our social media pages for an update on those cooling centers that are available around the county. This is very important that people are careful during this time because we can have fires, we can have heat-related illnesses. Also, be sure to not take your pets with you to the store as you travel around and leave them in the car. One habit that I have, even if no one is with me, I always just check my back seat. I check my back seat just in case, make sure nobody is in there.
Somebody snuck in.
Yeah. So just be careful and take advantage of those cooling centers. And even if you know someone who does not have access to social media, let them know about those cooling centers because we want to be safe here in the county. That will do it for this edition of Live with the County of Santa Clara. We will see you back here on Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day. Stay cool.
For the latest information regarding the COVID-19 pandemic in Cupertino, please visit cupertino.org/coronavirus.